Okay, on time, which is great. So, welcome again to the Content Theatre. I'm Cliff Hill from Ectron. We're sponsoring this theatre today. Ectron, if you haven't already heard this several times today, provide a market-leading web content management and customer experience platform. So please come and talk to us about that behind after this presentation. So I'd like to introduce Warren Knight, who's going to talk to you today about how to attract people with online content. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody okay? Very good. Excellent. So I'm going to be with you for the next 30 minutes, and I'm going to be talking to you about how to attract people with online content. But I'm going to break that down into 4 core areas for you today. So the first one being social media. The next one we're going to talk about inbound marketing, and then I'm going to share in regards to the importance of influencers and attracting online engagement. And then I'm going to touch on very slightly about SEO for you. So let me ask you a question. What is it that we do when something doesn't quite go the way that we want it to? How do we explain that? So think about that. What is it we do when something doesn't quite go the way that we want it to? Or more importantly, what is it that other people do that gives them the success that they want? So how many people here are marketing managers? So they do marketing for a business? Okay, and how many business owners do we have here? We've got business owners? Okay, so there's a few of you. So when it comes down to understanding what we do, we all know pretty much what it is that we've got to do. And we all know what it is, what it is that we have to do. So we know how to do what we're doing. And sometimes we go through a learning experience and come into events like this. But it's actually the why. People don't buy what we do, they buy why we do it. Why do you get up in the morning and do what you do? Why are you so passionate about digital marketing or running a business? We need to really share that reason why online. You know, I'm sure we've all heard of Innocent, who recently pretty much got bought up by Coca-Cola. But what is the reason, that we get bought into that brand? Because the guys share why they do it, why they were passionate about building a company. So when you're coming from a place of content online, share the reason why you do what you do. A little bit about me. There's my Twitter handle at WVRKnight in case you guys want to tweet. And then you've got the Digital London Twitter handle as well. I've been involved in online now for nearly 7 years. I've co-founded a couple of IT companies, one in e-commerce and another one which is an online e-learning platform. And I've worked with 100 different clients, helping them increase their business presence and their sales online. Now, just a question. How many people here have heard of the G20, so the Global 20? Everyone heard G20? Right, so 20 top countries around the world globally. If I was to say to you, which one of those countries has got the highest GDP of online sales out of any country around the world, which country do you think it would be? Britain? America? Korea? You're right, it's actually Britain. The UK has the highest GDP of online sales. So I know there are a lot of companies here that actually specialize in helping companies achieve online sales. And part of what you do with your marketing, what I like to call my customer acquisition journey, is actually taking that person, whether it's from an offline approach, taking them online, then bringing them offline again. It's all really about driving that traffic to achieve those online sales. So this is a report that was done by BCG, and it just shares with you that we are going through an industrial revolution at the moment from an online perspective. And this is really powerful. And Google, I'm sure some of you have already heard, they've changed their algorithms to really help the consumers help their brands grow online. And I'm going to share with you about that today. Anybody know who this guy is? Anybody? It's Tim Berners-Lee. He built the World Wide Web. We wouldn't have this show if it wasn't for him. So the first website was launched back in 1991. Then we went into Web 1.0, where we had the dial-up AOL, and then we went to Web 2.0, really where social networks became their own entity. But since 2007, he's been talking about the semantic web and taking the web of websites and turning it into a web of customers, a web of people. But it wasn't until a few months ago that Google finally caught up with this semantic web by changing the way that actually we engage as business owners with our customers online, but more importantly, the power of the customers online and what it is they say and what it is that they do. And this is moving forward into the semantic web, which is where we're getting towards Web 3.0. Now, the first stage of that is really about understanding how to build your social graph. So your social graph is where you as a business have your presence on different social networks. So we start off with Facebook, and I've heard some statistics that are coming out today, but 50% of us now are logging into Facebook. They've hit the milestone of over 500 million people now logging in to Facebook from their smartphone. You've got Twitter. You know, there are 14 million tweets sent every 3 days. How do you listen into those conversations? How can you find those individuals that have got the pain of something where you can solve that problem for them online? Google Plus, 360 million active users now in Google Plus. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on. Pinterest, the fastest growing social network. How many people here are on Pinterest at the moment? Okay, lots of ladies with their hands in the air. It is, it's the fastest growing social network. They've just got 200 million investment into the business. They brought out some very nice features, again, helping companies to get that acquisition online as well. Instagram, 150 million users log in on a monthly basis. Now, we all know Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion. And why did they pay that much money for a company that only had 10 or 11 people? Because they realized the power of mobile and being online. And so that where people engage in a social network, giving them that power to then market to those customers and giving you as business owners, look after clients, ways to be able to go into Facebook and target specific people that are on a certain mobile phone. LinkedIn has been 1 billion endorsements. So 1 billion endorsements. Again, it is the largest social B2B network. A little question, how many people here's profile is 100%? Got a 100% profile on LinkedIn? There's only a few people here. I highly recommend that everybody get their profile up to 100%. It makes a massive difference to their algorithm inside of LinkedIn. The way that you present yourself, the content that explains what it is that you do, not only how it can help you, but also help your company. YouTube, 200 million visits per day. It is the second largest search engine in the world and is owned by Google. So really think about that as a way of building your social graph and what's important to you. And I'm going to show a great tool that can help you with that in a little while. And then Foursquare. Do you know what really amazed me? The first thing that I did when I came here today to the digital marketing show is I logged in through Foursquare. There wasn't a single person that had put the digital marketing show on the map. And you've got all of these companies here talking about doing digital, but they're not using the tools that are out there for us. There's been over 1 billion check-ins using Foursquare. It's a powerful tool to be able to market your business, whether it's from an offline perspective or an online perspective. So if you do use Foursquare, you can now log into the digital marketing show. Okay, so lead generation. Why is it so important from a social media perspective? You can see it's 64% of marketeers say that social media is the second most important thing for them. The second most important thing from a lead generation, because they use it as a way to go out and listen to conversations. You've got 77% of B2C customers saying they've acquired a customer through Facebook. Well, I recently run a campaign for quite a large department store using a tool for an offer and also using Facebook as a way to grow their audience. The statistics over a 3-day period were ridiculous, something like 560,000 incremental increase in likes. They received thousands of pounds worth of sales just because of a 3-day outcome. We only spent £500 on the actual marketing campaign over those 3 days. So really think about these social platforms and where companies are acquiring those customers from. Companies that use Twitter. So for me personally, Twitter is my medium. I've got over 13,000 people that follow me on Twitter. but companies are more likely to generate a lead, twice as much more likely to generate a lead by using Twitter as a way of acquiring that customer through that customer acquisition journey. Hootsuite. How many Hootsuite lovers here? Okay, there's a few of you. What about, can't remember the name of it at the moment, TweetDeck. Any TweetDeck people here? Okay, there's a few people. If you're not using a social dashboard at the moment, A, for your business or B, for your customers, you really should be. You know, some of you might be looking to start a new business. This is a great tool to use. I don't know if you can see here, but in the middle, I can listen in onto every single conversation that happens about the digital marketing show by using their hashtag. But I have a 4-point strategy around this process. The first part is about listening. The second part is experimenting, and then applying the information that you've got from that experiment, and then keep developing. So it's something that I've got to give away to everybody today is I've got a complimentary 7-day e-course that I'd like to give to everybody today. Just giving them some 7 steps to be able to achieve online sales through social media. But this started out as a 7-day guide, as a free 7-day guide. So I use this tool to track the information, to track how many people click through from it. You can put your message in here, you can schedule it to go out at a certain time of day, and then schedule it to go out across different social networks. After a few weeks, I found out that complimentary and e-course were the two best keywords for my audience to get engaged with what it is that I have to offer. So if you'd like a copy of this, please come and see me afterwards. So inbound marketing. I don't know whether or not there have been some people here talking about inbound marketing so far, but it is a powerful way for you as marketing people and business owners to do something once, then allow an audience to curate the content for you. So the very first one is infographics. So this is an infographic that I produced for my e-commerce business. Again, it was very much on brand, very much on trend. And then once the infographic was produced, then I got an design intern to do it, so it actually cost me nothing to produce the infographic. If you want to produce some free infographics, there's a great one called Visually, which is a free platform to use for infographics, and I think the other one's info.gra. Now there is a free version around that, but there's also a paid if you want to download it. So this is an infographic which actually, when I mentioned earlier about the power of influencers, I found out who my target audience are. I found out who the influential people within that target audience are online, and I asked them to promote my infographic for me. So there was a guy that had a business called Social Commerce Today, and he's now changed that to digital information technology. Things have evolved. But I asked him to send it out to his audience, and he did. I had thousands of hits coming through to my website because of one person sharing something that I did once. Now, yes, he put it on his blog, but that had a backlink that came through to my website. So when they clicked on it on his blog, it came directly through to my website. It helped build my social graph online. So remember what I said earlier about Google changing the algorithms, about the semantic web? It's about what other people do online. How can they take something that you've designed and get other people to curate that information for you? That builds your online presence. That attracts more customers to your business. The second one is called Animoto. Now this is a free tool that I use that, especially if you're in the service industry, allows you to talk about your services and turn it into a video. So what it allows you to do is to take pictures, put pictures into Animoto. It then allows you to write content over the top, put music over the top. Once you've produced that video, then you can go and share it in Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, on your Tumblr account, whatever different platforms you're using for marketing. So think about how you can get something to do it once, get the influencers to share that information to their target audience, but think about ways how tools like this will allow you to do that. It doesn't have to be expensive for you to be able to make videos and get those videos online. Content. So this is a title that I have for my blog. Thinking about the semantic web, you've got to think about a search query. It's not about keywords anymore. So I've been invited to go over to Dubai. I've got a flight to Dubai on Sunday. When I was looking for flights to Dubai, I didn't type in flights Dubai. I was very specific. Flights that are leaving on a Sunday and getting me back on a Wednesday. That is the search query that I put into Google. Google only brought up the things that were relevant based on those particular keywords. So when you're writing blogs and when you're writing content, think about how other people will be searching online. Someone will type in, what is the most effective social platform for my business? I didn't write, Hootsuite's the best tool to use. I thought about the search query that a person within my target audience would then go and type online, did a little bit of research to make sure that those keywords would connect with my audience. So think about the content, think about the search query, and not just about the keywords. Webinars. So I touched on earlier about Google+. If you don't have a Google+ business page at the moment, so very quickly, who's got a business page on Google+? Okay, a few of you. Again, think about it. Google's the largest search engine in the world. If somebody types in a search query and you've defined your business with those keywords, what is Google going to do? It's going to bring up your Google+ business page over and above all of those other search queries because it wants people to get engaged with its social network. So really, it's a social layer. I wouldn't call it a social network because it has Google Places, Google Webinars. I came across, does everybody use GoToMeeting? You know, you've all done online webinars, GoToMeeting. It's a great tool to use. But I came across a tool the other day that allows you to do exactly the same as what GoToWebinar does, but they do it for Google, Google Hangouts. Can't quite remember the name of it off the top of my head, but if you want to come see me afterwards, I'll gladly share that with you. But think about how you can get engaged with your audience and share why you do what you do. Really think about that, not what you do, not how you do it, but why you do it. Get engaged with people online. Get those human interactions that allowed you to then get other people to go and talk about why you're so passionate about what it is that you do within your business. Use these free tools. They're great tools. And think, you know, once you've done that video, it can then be recorded and put into your YouTube channel. So again, you're doing something once, then you can go and put it into your email marketing, onto your YouTube channel, tweet about it, Facebook about it, whatever you want. But you've done something once. Think about how you can automate that out there on different social networks. And if you are looking to automate, there's a great tool that I use called IFTTT. So it's called If This Then That. So basically what you do is you design what they call recipes. So let's say that I did a webinar and I put that webinar onto YouTube. The first action was the webinar. The next action is YouTube. I've designed IFTTT and the recipe that I've got to go webinar, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. It's a recipe that's been pre-designed that the minute I load up my webinar to YouTube, it automatically pushes it out to those 3 other social networks. And that's called IFTTT.com. Online engagement. So looking at some areas around how you can get better online engagement in regards to what you're doing. So those influencers. So how I was able to find those influencers is very different now, and that was a couple of years ago. I had to do quite a bit of research. But you've got a cool tool called Clout. And now a little tip for you. Anybody that's got a Clout score of 60 and above is somebody that you want to be engaging with online. They have the power of people listening to them, but also the power of those people communicating with that influencer. So Clout now has a new business side to it. So again, use these tools that are out there to be able to go and listen to what's happening so that you can design your digital marketing strategy around those tools and to be able to automate that information. So great tool to use, really helps build those brand advocates. Social graph. So this is brand new from Facebook. If you haven't signed up for it yet, I highly recommend that you do it. They've only just launched it. It's a great way for us as business owners to really get an understanding of the people that are inside of Facebook and who they're connected to. What is their social graph and what are they communicating about? If you don't know already, Facebook's now jumped on the same bandwagon as Twitter, and you can use hashtags. So I was presenting about 3 weeks ago, and there was a lady in the audience that was a therapist, and I did a live a test for her inside of Facebook using hashtags. I found 3 customers for her just by using hashtags inside of Facebook in real time. Because then by people saying, I'm in pain, hashtag fell off my bike, whatever it might be, he was then able to communicate with that individual and help them. So use these tools, the social graph, the hashtags, all within inside of Facebook. Twitter conversations. So a couple of weeks ago, I was in Romania, and they always get you to come the day before the show just to make sure that you're there. And then the first day of the show, I came walking down the stairs, and I went to the counter, and there were 3 people behind the counter, and I looked really tired. And I just said, I've got a real problem. And the guy said, why is that? And I said, I had 2 friends in my bedroom last night. And he just looked at me and he was, okay. 2 mosquitoes were in my bedroom all night long. I managed to get one of them, and so I lost a lot of sleep that night trying to get hold of those guys. But the reason why I share that story with you is because once I told them what I'd gone through, then when I came back later that evening, they'd gone in and solved the problem for me. The first thing I did, I went online, I checked into the location of the hotel, I talked about what great customer service they had, I had the show retweeting it, and I had other people talking about it. So if they were to listen in onto the conversation, they would then know exactly who the trade show is, maybe connect with the trade show to get them to be a customer. They would see the people that connected with me, and so they already know that they're listening online, they're communicating online. These are individuals that they should be following. A lot of them were Romanian people that were communicating with me, that actually knew the hotel, told me about a whole story about the hotel many, many years ago. And that whole conversation happened online. And so Twitter now allows you to listen into those conversations. So think about it from a positive perspective, but what about the negative side of what can happen around conversations? I had a nightmare with Sky a couple of weeks back, and the online side of things solved everything for me. So they listened to what was happening. Use these tools as a way of getting that content to help drive your business and get to know those customers. Google Plus, I've mentioned that earlier. There's a lot of ways that help. You can see you've got a really nice engaging picture here, just defines what it is, where my passion lies around speaking, but it's building your authority. Each of those different social graphs that I mentioned to you earlier, Google's listening. It's building that authority online. So when I have something to say about a restaurant that I've been to or a hotel that I've been at, I get listened to because I have a high authority online. Google reads the algorithm of that. So if you have people online that are communicating about your products, your services, your customers' business, whatever it might be, if those individuals have a high authority, you need to be listening to that. So Google Plus gives you lots of tools that allows you to be able to listen into those conversations, ratings and reviews, engaging pages, great content, easy to share. If you want, because I shared with you Hootsuite earlier, which does allow you to actually automate and schedule information out. A tool to use for Google Plus is called Do Share, do.share. So if you go to your Google Chrome account, you can actually just type in Do Share, and it allows you to schedule messages to go out to your Google Plus account. Gmail, again, is a great way to listen into conversations. You see down on the left-hand side here, I can listen in onto every conversation that this person's had across Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. I can connect with them on LinkedIn. You can see I'm already connected with them on LinkedIn. If you use Google Plus, it's called Reportive. It's a free tool. LinkedIn bought it because they realized how powerful it was to be able to really get engaged with their customers, but also drive more traffic over to LinkedIn. Because if somebody sent me an email, but I wanted to find out more about them and what they do, I could click on the LinkedIn icon here, and it will take me straight through to their LinkedIn page. I find out about who they are, what they do, listen to what's happening on Twitter, then I can pick up the phone and have a conversation with him and build that rapport really quickly because I've spent the time to listen. So use these tools to build that content. SEO, how are we doing for time? Have I gone over to 5 minutes? Okay, great. SEO. Now, last year, I might have put SEO at the very beginning of the presentation, but now it's at the end. That doesn't mean to say that it's not important. It is important to understand your customers. it's important to define your business. What are those keywords? What are those search terms that define your customer and define your business? So when you look at your on-site SEO, so the things that you need to be doing on your website, and I can assure you, I've looked at some digital marketing websites before I came down here today, and I was really surprised at how they're not even focusing on this themselves, acquiring customers online. So understand the keywords that define your business, and when you know your target audience, what those keywords are. Make sure you put them into the meta tags. So use those keywords across the website, build them into your blog, but put those keywords into the meta tags. Now, there are a certain amount of characters that you must use for your H1, H2, and H3 tags, which is your title, your description, and the tags for those for the meta description for your business. But be really careful not to go over that, because anything over that, Google will just completely ignore. Link structure becomes really key within any business. Google and Chrome have a certain way that they like a link structure to be. So if you give them that information and make it easy for them to find your website, they will put your website over and above other companies that haven't thought about all of this concept. The page content, again, really key. Homepage, have that information. Put those alt tags on those pictures. When you put the video, which might be from YouTube, on the front page of your website, think about how you define that in YouTube. Think about the search queries inside of YouTube for that. Authorship, really key. Google's algorithms are focusing on authorship. How popular are you and are your thought leaders online for you to be able to connect with them? The navigation. So what is that user journey? It's become a huge part, especially with the e-commerce side of things. All these UI and UX guys seem to be warranting ridiculous amounts of money at the moment for just telling you what a user journey should be on your website. Listen to these guys, they know. And there are some fantastic blogs out there for you to get a better understanding around that. Analytics, I've got a great tool I'm going to share with you in a minute. And if you make any changes on your website, make sure you go to your Google Webmaster tool and let Google know that you've made those changes. If it doesn't know that you've made changes to content on your website, how does it know to send the right traffic to your website? So this is a tool that I have, again, I'd like to give to everybody today. This is a social media dashboard, and it analyzes all of the data that's come through from all the different social networks onto your website. So you can use it not only for your business, but also for your client's business, especially if you're managing their online marketing for them. So you can see here that I get the most interaction using Pinterest and Google+. That's where I spend my time, because that's where I get the most engagement. I don't spend all of my time inside of Facebook, but I've done that based on the analytics. You can see also that 66% has come through social, but that doesn't mean that actually started in social. It's just a journey. I've got content on Pinterest. Someone types in a search query in Google. Google brings it up because they clicked on images. They brought up my Pinterest image because it's got the search query that's matched that. They've clicked on the image, brought them into Pinterest, and then they've come to my website. So the last action that got taken is where the analytics is reading it. Doesn't mean that it wasn't first done through Google and the search queries. So from off-site SEO, and I know we're sort of running out of time, really focus on your link building. If you're running a pay-per-click campaign, matching that search query and those keywords around that. Spend time engaging. It's not just your customers engaging with you, it's you engaging with people, with like-minded people within your industry. It's all about the authorship online, and Google's listening to everything that's happening. What is the sentiment? The positive sentiment around that. So how are people talking about your business? How are they talking about your clients online? Really understand that information. The semantic web. Read more about it. Find out what Tim Berners-Lee's talking about, why Google has spent all of their time changing their algorithms based on that, making a web of websites to a web of people. And content. Content is key to everything that you do, but take those steps back. Define your business, understand your customer. So just to recap, the 4 points that I covered off today: social media, inbound marketing, use those tools. Do something once, find the influencers and get them to share it for you. Build that online engagement and take a step and take a look at that SEO. Think about your business and think about how Google's actually wanting to present that customer looking for your service or products so that they're able to drive that traffic over. So very quickly, top tips, make sure you do have a stable environment for your business, often sometimes can be overlooked, and really connect with people that are online, that are those influencers. If you are interested in finding out a little bit more about this, I'm running a workshop on Saturday. I call it a doing day because everybody comes down and they do. So I take you through everything that I've spoken about today, showing you the tools, getting you to how to build your online engagement, and a lot of real-time information. So if you want to come down and be with me on Saturday, I'm doing that for 50% off. So I have a piece of paper over here which I can share with you with that special code on Social 2013 if you want to come and spend the day with me, and I'd love to spend some time with you guys. So thank you very much for being a great and engaging audience, and enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.